Do you know surgeons who play video games make fewer mistakes during surgery, according to psychology professor at Iowa State University? Do you know snakes can sense a coming earthquake from 75 miles away, up to 5 days before it happens? Do you know Charlie Chaplin's body was stolen after 3 months of his death? Do you know caffeine doesn't actually gives you energy but block the adenosine receptors in your brain? Do you now never give up on prayer? God sometimes answers in unexpected way. Do you know this is why you should sleep on your left side? Do you know there are over 6,000 known species of grass in the world? Do you know Iceland is the only country in the world with no mosquitoes? Do you know San Marino is the 5th smallest country in the world and 3rd smallest in Europe? Do you know Bill Gates has a periodic timetable mounted in his office with little samples of every chemical? Do you know Nature's Bridge in Finland, one of the beautiful places in the world? Do you know Norway's largest stave church built in 1200s and still in use, Hedal Stave Church? Do you know Muraka, world's first underwater villa opened in Maldives? Do you know sleeping on your stomach can result into weirder and scarier dreams? Do you know why about 2 kilometers can be drawn from 1 gram gold? Do you know fine of 60,000 will be charged from men who whistle or make vulgar comments at women in France? Do you know this Delta flight was piloted by a mother and daughter flight crew? Do you know Bugatti Veyron oil changes costs $20,000 to $25,000? Because Bugatti used dry sump oiling system with 16 different drain plugs. Do you know the 4 rings in Audi logo represents 4 companies of auto union named Audi, DKW, Wander and Porsche? Do you know the Moon, the Venus and the Jupiter will be aligned to form a smiley face on May 16, 2020? Do you know the first photograph of Earth taken from space on 24 October 1946? Do you know in 1518 there was a dancing epidemic occurred in Strasbourg? 400 people danced uncontrollably for 1 month and some died of heart attack. Do you know in 1973 China had an excess of females and offered USA 10 million Chinese women? Do you know psychological study says people who are generally too nice are also the ones to get hurt the most? Do you know only female mosquitoes bite you? Male mosquito never bites you. Do you know Japanese farmers grow square-shaped watermelon for easier stack and store? Do you know a pineapple is not a single fruit, but a group of berries fused together? Do you know gamophobia is the fear of marriage, relationships or commitment? Do you know music increases your performance in sports? Do you know the saddest thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies, it comes from those you trust the most? Do you know déjà vu, you already seen, is the feeling that the situation currently being experienced has already been experienced in the past? Have you ever experienced it? The happier you are, the less sleep you need to function in everyday life. Sadness increases the urge to sleep. Do you know people with blue eyes drink and tolerate alcohol the most? Do you know you're 50% more likely to remember something if you speak it loudly instead of reading it multiple times? Do you know colors like red, orange and yellow makes you hungry? Do you know Tibetan proverb the secret to living well and longer is eat half, walk double, laugh triple and love without measure? Do you know the blind dog has its own guide dog, this called true friendship? Do you know most people believe other people's social lives are richer and more active than their own, a study found? Do you know girls who spend their money for food rather than beauty products are the cutest ever? Do you know people tend to be happier when they are kept busy, as this prevents them from thinking about the negative things in life? Do you know hearing your name when no one is calling you is actually a sign of a healthy mind? Do you know it takes 21 days to get into a new habit or to quit a bad habit? Do you know when you fall in love with someone's personality, everything about that individual becomes beautiful? Do you know when we are hungry, We buy more unhealthy food when we go shopping. Do you ever talk to someone and feel happy no matter how awful the conversation is? Do you know finding love is all about timing? Psychology says that it's possible to find the right person, but at the wrong time. Do you know people are probably not happy with their lives if they're too busy discussing yours? Do you know too much seriousness can put a girl off? Too much joking, as well. Find 3 hobbies. 1 to make you money, 1 to keep you in shape, and 1 to keep you creative. Do you know some people have a natural alarm clock allowing them to wake up when they want? This is actually caused by a stress hormone. Do you know mental pain is increased by pretending you are okay when you're not? Do you know babies tend to look more at attractive faces and less at unattractive faces? Do you know people who overthink actually make better friends? Overthinking is associated with empathy, the ability to care for others.